keep coming back to you, my friend. Think I'm feeling something new again. Never going back, just take my hand. Something new again. Never going back, just take my hand. Keep coming back to you, my friend. Think I'm feeling something new again. Never going back, just take my hand. I keep hearing something in the wind. I keep hearing something. I keep hearing
Well, welcome and aloha to everyone. Just so all of us are aware, we are live streaming and recording the Zoom start line today to share with those not able to attend. You will also be muted for most of the program so that we don't have any background sound, not that we do not adore hearing your beautiful voices. For those of you who are not familiar with Zoom, if you are on a laptop or a desktop right now, and you'd like to change the layout of the screen, there's a drop-down tab at the top right corner of your screen that says View Options. So you can click there and change the settings however you'd like, such as speaker view or gallery view, to see who else is attending with you. We'll also be utilizing the chat box, as you can see, to share a few resources and messages with you during the presentation. You should feel free to type your own shout outs and cheers in the chat, which you control from the bottom of your Zoom window. Now, if you're watching this on mobile, we know the options are more limited, but you can swipe in different directions for different views. And now, it's truly my pleasure to introduce our Chief Operating Officer, Sherry Strahl. Take it away, Sherry.
Thank you so much, Kim, and welcome and aloha to all. Is everyone ready to walk your way to defeat ALS today? I am. Got my balloon. It's very festive. My heart is full seeing everyone here today. I already walked my way this morning. It was a beautiful, drizzly morning out there, and I will look forward to seeing how you are going to walk your way today in that chat box. So feel free to type away. We have a great program in store for you. Longtime Golden West chapter supporter Alex Michelson from Fox 11 News in Los Angeles will be with us very soon as our host. We have some amazing videos to share with you, spotlighting some of the 1,800 families facing ALS that we serve throughout California and Hawaii. We will also update you on some of our chapter's recent work in support of our mission. We've got a Zumba warm-up, our team roll call, and just so much more. Right now, we have a real treat for all of you early birds here at our start line. This man has been privileged to work with Sir Elton John and his band for the past 15 years, standing in for him in band rehearsals and composing, in addition to arranging for Elton's various live performances. Please welcome the oh so delightful Adam Chester.
I can do my own fanfares. That's so unfair. Thank you so much, Sherry. I was like, wow, who is that guy? Oh, it's me. It's so good to be here. I am so honored to be playing for the Golden West chapter of the ALS Association. My dear friend Mark Wallengren is probably watching. I'm sure he is. Love you like a brother. And God, let's all sing some songs. If you feel like singing along, I think I'm going to do some Elton John songs. There you go. So let's start off with this one. And again, if you want to sing along, please do. Here we go. Blue jean baby, LA lady, you seamstress for the band. Smile, you marry a music man, ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand, but now she's in me, you're always with me, tiny dancer. Singing along. Jesus freaks out in the street, hand and tickets out for go, and turning back, she just laughs. The boulevard is not that bad. His stand in the auditorium, looking on, she sings his song, the words she knows, tune she hums, oh yes she does. Best part, but oh I feel so real, lying in no one near, only you, and you can hear me when I say softly, slowly. Everyone, I want to hear ya. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of linen. Lay me down. You had a busy day today. Blue jean baby, LA lady, seems just for the band. Pretty eyes, a pirate smile, you marry a music man, ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. a dancer. We'll count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of linen. Lay me down. You had a busy day today. Oh, oh, oh. Little tiny dancer for you. That's one of my favorite songs to rehearse with the band. I got to tell you, the first time I did that, I was like, "Oh my God, can't believe I'm playing this." And I'm almost more nervous now playing it here for you because I want to do a good job. And I really so thank you guys for having me be a part of this. It means the world to me. On behalf of my dear friend Mark and his brother Ernie. And Mark's entire family, Barbara and the kids. Love you guys and thank you for having me. I'm going to do another Elton song, and I'll do an abridged version of this, but this is a little Benny and the Jets. Oh, you know what? Before I do Benny and the Jets, we have a birthday, and we have many birthdays today, and I know Cheryl was celebrating a big birthday, so why don't we all sing a little happy birthday? You ready? In this game. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. A little birthday by the Beatles. Happy birthday, Cheryl. Happy birthday to Tammy's dad, who turned 80. Happy birthday to all of you. Have a wonderful and blessed happy birthday and exciting day. So here's a little Benny, and let's see how this turns out. Here we go. 3 and... Spotlights hitting something that's been known to change the weather. Kill the fatty calf tonight, so stick around. Gonna hear electric music, solid balls of sound. Candy and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Ooh, with the soul spaced out. Benny and the Jets. Look, they weed and they're wonderful. She's got electric boots, a Moe suit, you know I read it in a magazine. Oh, oh, oh. Benny and the Jets. Let's go to this part. Sing some Benny. Here we go. Benny, 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 Benny. Benny and the Jets.
Can we do a brief crocodile, Adam? Come on, we gotta hear crocodile.
Oh, you gotta hear crocodile. I remember when rock was young. Me and Asher had so much fun, holding hands and skimming songs. Had an old gold Chevy and a place of my own, but the biggest kick I ever got doing a thing called the crocodile ride, while the other kids were rocking around the clock. We were hopping and bobbing to the crocodile ride. Whoa, crowd rocket, something shining through your feet just can't keep still. I never knew me a better time. Lord of mama, those Friday nights when Susie wore her dresses tight was out of sight. Here you go. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. One more time. La 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 la. 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 Ooh yeah. I hope that got you la la lying.
Wow. Thank you so much, Adam. That was, I almost feel like that was so much fun. Is that legal? I think it is. Sing-alongs. I forgot how cool that is. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Now
much.
we are going to head over to today's Walk to Defeat ALS MC. He's a longtime supporter of the Golden West chapter and the ALS community. He is deeply committed to help raise ALS awareness through his work, first on ABC 7 and now Fox 11 News in Los Angeles. He co-anchors Fox 11 News at 5, 6, 7, and 10 p.m., and also hosts and produces the political talk show, The Issue Is. I don't know how he does it. He's amazing. He's a force of nature. Please welcome Alex Michelson.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I don't know how anybody tops what Adam just did. I am so pumped up after that. I am Alex Michelson. Hopefully you can you hear me okay? You can see me? Okay. I'm broadcasting from my car right now on my 10th year of doing this together. I'm actually in a beach parking lot. Just did another event and did a walk this morning for ALS, so it's a busy day. But this, of course, is the best part of the day. So honored to once again be with this community that I love so much and have gotten to know so many different people in person and virtually over the last 10 years of doing this. Two people in particular that really touch my heart that unfortunately we've lost in the last few years. Especially honored to have gotten to know Nancy Ryder, just force of nature, Hollywood publicist who is beloved by so many of her friends, and got to be a part of a walk in person with Team Nancy earlier this morning, which was really a beautiful thing to get together with all of them. And then also wanted to give a shout out to the incredible Mari Windsor, who taught so many people how to move through Pilates, and was just a spunky, fun, amazing person. And also thinking of her and cheering on Team Windsor Pilates, which is a part of this today as well, and so many incredible teams that are here. I do want to give one shout out to myself, if you don't mind. I'll take a shameless plug opportunity, because God knows I'll never miss one of those. The Issue is available all over the state of California. It's not just on Fox 11 Los Angeles. So for people that are joining us from all over, which we know people are, you can check us out on a station near you. Go to theissueisshow.com to check out our show. Would love to have you watch. It's a statewide political show. We have a great interview with Andrew Yang this weekend, airing on your hometown station. Okay, so let's give a shout out to some of the teams that are here. ALS Pukale, which is really strong in Hawaii. A shout out to you guys. A shout out to Team Essie in San Francisco. We know the Essie family is so instrumental to the success of this chapter. And a big shout out to Miller Time in the Central Valley, which is making me wish that I had a beer with me right now, but maybe later on in the day. It probably is kind of early for that. What's exciting about this year, I mean, obviously we would prefer to be together in person, but it really is great that we're able to bring so many different aspects and so many different areas that the ALS Golden West chapter serves together in one place virtually. Represented on this call right now is 11 different service areas, 31 different counties in the state of California, our largest state, plus the entire state of California, or entire state of Hawaii, I should say. The entire state of Hawaii is with us. So let's give all of our chapter walk communities a shout out right now. Maybe give a fist pump or something to represent the one that you are from. So we got Central Valley in the house, the East Bay in the house, Hawaii in the house, the Inland Empire in the house, Kern County in the house, Los Angeles County in the house, Monterey Bay in the house. Man, how lucky are you to live in Monterey Bay? San Luis Obispo is here. Silicon Valley and the South Bay. And thank you, Silicon Valley, because without you, we wouldn't have Zoom and we wouldn't be able to do this. So a special shout out to the Silicon Valley today for literally making this possible. Sonoma County in the house. And we'll be celebrating this later with some of your wines. And Ventura and Santa Barbara in the house as well. Welcome to all of you. We know that this pandemic has been tough on all of us. It's been tough on the ALS Association as well. But we have come together. We found new ways to serve people. And one of the people that's really instrumental to this is somebody that I know so many of you are familiar with, who works so hard, our Vice President of Community Outreach. Give it up for Asher Garfinkel.
Thank you, Alex. I'm still a little out of breath after dancing around to Adam.
You were you're singing your dance moves. We know that you're quite great at community outreach, but what we didn't know is your reach in terms of your dance moves really is exceptional. I think we need to get you to Elton John's farewell tour. We need to find somebody that might know him, that might be able to help you out with a ticket, and we need to see you in that front row dancing to Benny and the Jets.
I don't know. That was the most exercise I've had in a long time. So really, thank you, Adam, for working me out. Yeah, and then, of course, you're there at the beach. And anybody who was at the kickoff for the Walk to Defeat ALS knows I love a good beach and a good plunge in the water. Anyway, thank you, Alex, for being here today and for your unwavering commitment to the ALS community that we serve. Now, I want to make sure that you all visit our sponsors. These sponsors this year are extraordinary. We have some new ones who have emerged during the pandemic. They came out to support us. And then we have others who have just stuck with us. And their commitment is so appreciated during this pandemic. How are you going to visit the sponsors? Well, I'm going to show you how. It's not like we have booths or canopies, but we kind of do in our virtual festival zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, if you all don't mind. You're all going to go for the virtual festival zone. You're going to go to walk-tober.org. So that's walktober.org. freedomfighters.org, and I'm sharing my screen, and I hope you can see that. Here we are at the top of the screen. Look at that fundraising thermometer, by the way. We're at 809,000 and climbing. Can somebody please round that out to a nice even 810,000 right now? Let's see that go up. Anyway, you're going to go right here and you're going to click on where it says click here, and that's going to take you right to our wonderful festival zone. And there are people who are not in the Zoom environment right now watching the live stream, and so we say hello to you all who aren't with us on Zoom watching YouTube. This will be recorded and it will be placed here up on our virtual festival zone stage as well. And then we scroll down and we get to meet our wonderful sponsors. These are our chapter-wide sponsors here, Booz Allen Hamilton and Cytokinetics. Thank you for generously supporting the chapter for years in many, many, many different ways. We appreciate all you do. So to visit them, you can just click on each of their links here. I'm going to scroll down. We know these guys already. Thank you, thank you. And these are our regional sponsors. Now, the good news is that I could thank them verbally, and it would take us to next year because there are so many of them. So I'm not going to take the time to list them verbally right now, but let's get a good glance at each and every one of them. And again, if you go to the festival zone by going to walktober.org and then clicking on visit the virtual festival zone, you can get there and say hello to these sponsors. So these are our Golden West chapter booths, information, tools, and resources to get to know the chapter a little better at this mission booth. Unlock ALS. Alex is going to talk about them in a second. You can go here and download a paper key or download a key graphic for your use. And then we have a wonderful memory in memory of scroll here that you can go to for those that we've lost to ALS in the past at our chapter. And we're going to talk about the Never Give Up Club just a little later. Some more of our wonderful sponsors, premier sponsors. And we're going to keep scrolling down. Thank you to all of these folks. These are some stories that we've gotten to know about those in our community leading up to the walk. And then these are our local sponsors at some of our 11 local walk communities. Last but not least, our national sponsors, the New Motion Foundation, Mitsubishi Tanabe Pharma America, Christina Sanderson from that company is here, and Promobile Foundation, Mike and Melissa from the Promobile Foundation are here today. So please just take the time to say hello to them by learning more about each and every one of them. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I just want to say one more thing, that here at the Zoom start line with us today is our incredible Walk to Defeat ALS staff. You've been meeting with them. You've been seeing them at our virtual activities all year. You've been getting texts, emails, phone calls from them all year in anticipation of this celebratory day. And I want to be sure to give them a shout out for their hard work and for making all families that have been impacted by ALS their number one priority. So they are our directors of community outreach, are here with us at the Zoom start line. Tammy Galt in Central California, Kim Lembo in Northern California, Jessica Partida in Southern California, and none of us could do it without our community outreach coordinator, Katie Randall, our community outreach assistant, Cynthia Cruz, and our family outreach specialist, Janelle Webb. And one more shout out. I just want to acknowledge my fellow vice presidents, Cheryl Goldstein, Vice President of Development, and Audra Hines, Vice President of Care Services. This organization certainly couldn't do it without their hard work. So thank you all, and back to you, Alex.
Asher, thank you, and thank you for all the hard work that you do each and every day as well. One point that I think is interesting, and we're trying to find out more about why this happens, people in the military are twice as likely to get ALS versus the civilian population. We know there are folks from the military that are represented here today, and if you've served or you have or you're with people that have served, maybe give us a wave or an acknowledgement or a head nod, and we want to take a moment to thank you and salute you and thank you for your service to our country. And as a moment to honor our country, we want to bring back Adam Chester now for the national anthem. Adam.
Thank you so much, Alex. So if you're able and if you wish, please sing along. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Adam, I believe you're going to introduce somebody.
Yes, I am. So now we're going to go to Honolulu for that Walk Community's traditional opening blessing, the Pule, led by Kahu Wendell Davis, followed by another great friend of the chapter. He's the former mayor of Kauai, Bernard Carvalho, singing Hawaii's official state song, Hawaii Pono'i. Take it away.
Aloha mai kako, Kahuendo Davis. On behalf of the ALS Association, Golden West Chapter, greetings and aloha. You know, my granddaughter is a little over a year, but 13 months. If I was to put my gold ring on a carpet, she'll be very inquisitive, very curious. She'll see the shininess of the ring itself. She'll take it and she'll put it in her hand and she'll discover it and play with it, but really not know the true value of that ring. But give that same baby girl 10 years or so, and she will know the true value of that ring. We're here together because the true value is in all of you as we participate together in this ALS walk. The value of being with each other, to holding on to one another, to continue to strive together, to support one another against ALS, to walk in the feet of ALS. That's the value of life, the preciousness and the worthiness of life. We continue to strive forward together. So my blessing to you today, with every step you take, every walk and the distance you make, wherever you go, even beyond the days when even the walk is over, we will never stop walking. And God, we pray that you give us the strength and the courage to continue on our walk until one day, by your grace and by your blessings, ALS will finally be defeated. But we hold on to the value of your love, God, upon all of us as we unite as family and come together for this very specific purpose. We give thanks and blessings. In your holy name I pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful walk, and God bless all of you.
Aloha from our island of Kauai. And we're so thankful to be here once again to do Hawaii Pono'i. I'd like to thank all of our team members and of course, Team Kuki, Ujio, and our Kauai team all the way from the island of Kauai. And so very committed to supporting all the efforts to defeat ALS. But from our island of Kauai and our team from Kauai, Kuki and the team, Hawaii Pono'i. Hawaii Pono'i Nanai Komoi Kalani Ali Ke Ali Makualani e Kameha Meha e Na kaua e pale me kahi e makualani e kameha meha e na kaua e pale me kahi e. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you. There we go. Wow, that was really something. And I thought that I had the best location for the Zumba at the beach, but I was just beaten by that Kauai shot. Is beautiful. Wow, it's really spectacular. We love the national anthem, Adam. It also sort of made me feel like we were baseball game. So in that spirit, go Dodgers. I'm about the Giants. Okay, let's talk about the colors that bring us together. Can you see me? Can you see me now? No. Hello. Can you guys see me?
Yes. Yeah, we have you.
Okay, all right. So it just said internet connection is unusual. All right, so we're going to go through the different colors now, and hope that you can hold up your keys. We've got blue lanyards that are representing for someone who is walking in honor of someone with ALS. We have white lanyards for those who are walking in memory of someone with ALS. Red lanyards for those who, like our sponsors, walk in support and in of the community. And then gold lanyards are worn by people that are living with ALS. But all of these different keys are all about one thing, that we're coming together to unlock ALS and find a cure to all of this as well. Today, we want to spotlight different families with different experiences from different communities. We're going to spotlight 4 different families from 4 different communities representing Northern California, Central California, Southern California, and Hawaii. Each in their own way is really a champion of the chapter's mission. And let's meet our first 2 families right now.
What I love about my job in radio is what really got me interested when I was 12 years old, which was the way it felt was that the person on the other side of the radio was talking directly to me. And I liked the way that felt for some reason. It was something I wanted to do, to be able to affect people's lives through the radio. Aloha, I'm Jose Fajardo from Honolulu, Hawaii. A little bit about myself. I was born the second child of 6 kids to a military Army officer, U.S. Army. At the age of 12 is when I realized that I wanted to get into broadcasting. I fell in love with radio, and everything I did from that point on in high school and college was oriented to getting into broadcasting, which I was able to do. And then I was hired right out of college to work for a country radio station, which was very interesting because being a young Puerto Rican boy, I had no idea what country music was. continued my broadcast career in Texas for 13 years. Then I moved to Orlando, Florida to run a public radio station in Orlando, and eventually I became the CEO. And then the recruiter came a-calling and told me about this wonderful opportunity to come to Hawaii to run Hawaii Public Radio. And that's what I've been doing. I'm the president and general manager of Hawaii Public Radio, and I've been here now a little over 5.5 years. And in Hawaii, I was running 5Ks and 10Ks in the mountains. So I knew my body very well. And I started to notice that my walking gait and my running gait were beginning to change very slightly, and that my legs were not cooperating with me in the way they used to. And eventually, my doctor referred me to a neurologist. And the interesting thing is that all the initial tests came back negative for ALS. A colleague of my neurologist actually came into the room one day and said, something is not right. And right there on the spot, he did an EMG of my arms. That was the first time that a doctor, neurologist, actually vocalized the words ALS to me. My wife, Jennifer Barrett, who I met here in Hawaii, we recently got married in January, just 3 or 4 months before the diagnosis, and she has been my rock. She has been the foundation to everything I do. So immediately after my diagnosis with ALS, my wife and I quickly came to the decision that I wanted to share my story with as many people as possible. The response has been so overwhelmingly positive. Strangers have reached out with personal cards, emails, and it also has allowed us then to advocate for ALS. There is hope. Science is really close, and we need resources. We need funding from the federal government, from state legislatures to fund trials and treatments and multidisciplinary clinics around the country in places like here, Hawaii, where we really don't have that. And so for me, that's the message that I'm pounding is don't look at me as someone who is dying from ALS. Look at me as someone who's living with ALS and who has a purpose right now to tell my story and to help science find a solution.
There's more research going on now than at any time in history into ALS. There are more clinical trials going on now than at any time in history for people with ALS.
That was Fred Fisher of the Golden West chapter of the ALS Association. Hearing Mr. Fisher talk about, the research now is robust. Talk about your experience and what you're learning.
So right away, my wife Jennifer and I went into a research mode to see what can we do. So then I also started looking into this Healy platform trial, which is really a unique methodology of taking 4 or 5 treatments at the same time. And the benefit of that is that you're sharing placebos with 4 other groups. So you have a 75% chance of getting the active drug instead of the 50% chance in typical trials. It could be overwhelming, and that's why I think the Golden West chapter plays such a pivotal and important role in helping people with ALS and their families to find information. The introduction to other folks living with ALS here in Hawaii has been so helpful. That has been a direct help and connection that Cindy has provided through the local chapter, where I've been able to hear their stories and how their families are dealing with this disease, which has helped me in dealing with the disease as well. So I can't say enough about the help that the Golden West chapter has provided. So just a message to everyone who's participating in the Walk to Defeat ALS. What you're doing today is so important, because as you participate in this event, you have the opportunity to talk to your neighbor, to talk to a friend, to talk to a colleague about your experience with ALS, whether it's you're living with a disease, a family member is living with a disease, or a colleague or friend is living with a disease. That opportunity is so important. I just want to say thank you for the steps that you're taking as you walk to defeat ALS. I'm encouraged by the work that you're doing, and thank you so very much.
People who aren't familiar with ALS think that it is constant doom and gloom in our house, and it isn't. Like, there's definitely some sad times, but it kind of turned us a little bit more spiritual in a way where we are sort of forced to appreciate every day and every moment and all the time we get together. And not everybody gets that in life. We first met at a restaurant where I was the busboy maybe, and she was a server, and I was definitely fascinated with her right when I first saw her. We ended up becoming like good buddies.
I remember going in one night and the two of them happened to be working behind the bar together. And you wouldn't notice if you didn't know them, but they were just glowing.
We had been friends for a while, and when he asked me out, he showed up looking so handsome in a pinstriped suit and flowers to give.
It just grew from there. It was so natural.
You know, the family they've created is just wonderful to see and to be a part of.
Getting to go exploring, go hiking, it was as if I was being transplanted back with my own family, and a big part of that was Amy and her smile.
One of the first signs that we noticed with Amy and her ALS was, her voice. Her voice was sometimes a little slurred or delayed. And
the scariest symptom was when my hand wouldn't open and close as quick as my other hand.
We started seeing specialists in the area. It wasn't really obvious what was happening because Amy was still fully functioning. She was still working.
I finally decided to see an ear/nose/throat doctor. I didn't take a look at the referral until the next day, on a trip to the beach. When I saw what she wrote at the bottom, I wept.
At first, she was still driving, I was still working, and it was just little things that she would need. Maybe help up the stairs, help into bed.
I can no longer dance with my daughter on TikTok, play ping pong with my son, or ride bikes with my family.
Now we're 2.5 years into the first sign, and at this point, I have completely stopped working. Her care is, round the clock. She needs help doing everything. Every little thing that you can think of, every micro adjustment when you're in bed, she can't do that anymore.
They had to move to get a one-story house. They're just a few blocks away from us now, and we feel very lucky to be closer to them.
It's an important part of our lives to do whatever we can to be there, to make a day easier, a moment easier.
Yeah, Sarah and Pete have been so helpful, and they're just a phone call away and they drop everything. We were open with our kids about Amy's diagnosis from early on, but for them, their mom is here, they can talk to their mom. It's not a devastating day-to-day occurrence for them. This device is amazing. She's still able to text them, talk to them about their homework.
Amy's just a rock star. She still has time to, tease my brother and make fun of him. And there's so much life in her. And, ALS takes many things away, but it doesn't take her spirit away.
The Golden West chapter has been a great help. I attend a multidisciplinary ALS clinic at UCSF through the chapter.
We were able to find a van through the Golden West chapter that had wheelchair access so that Amy and Dante could travel to doctor's appointments.
I remember Dante saying, gosh, we need this van. It was an hour later. He's like, okay, so there's this van available. It just happened so fast and it was so easy. And they just were there to be there and to help. And what else can I do for you?
Just feeling a sense of community with them and knowing that if I run into a wall, they're there. I don't feel like I'm alone.
When we first found out about Amy and ALS, I didn't know what to do. Upon my research, I came upon the Walk to Defeat ALS. And
Amy came up with the name, Amy's Avengers, and the phrasing, kick some ALS, that was all Amy as well.
I participate in the walk because I want to show others that they are not alone in this fight. I walk to raise money for the scientists finding out what exactly this disease is and how we can find a cure. I want the public to know that I have hope.
The ALS walk during COVID times, people have been having to get creative, and last year it seemed like it wasn't going to happen.
And it didn't stop Amy's support group. The morning of the ALS walk, there was a parade, 50 cars or so deep.
And it felt like the parade just was endless. It just kept looping around.
And it was just really special to know that that community came together like that, and know that that's just one piece of this broader community of people that are involved in things like the walk.
Thanks to our community of family and friends and even those we don't know. And to my husband Dante. How did I get so lucky? I love you something fierce. Thanks for being the best freaking caregiver ever.
Giving so much to Amy has taken my sort of ego out of the relationship and just brought me to this place of like pure love. It's difficult. It's not easy, but it has taught me how to love her that much more.
Wow. How incredible is that? Ultimately, the thing that I think all of us are striving for in life is to be loved. And no matter how long your life is, to be able to feel and see that sort of love is an incredible thing that some people reach to 100 never get to do. And I just am so inspired and moved by both of the messages that we just heard, and by the community outpouring as well. And I think that's manifested by what we're all a part of today. And what a beautiful thing. Now, during that video, you heard a brief clip with the voice of Fred Fisher, but Fred is such a tall, handsome man, we have to see his face. We have to see him because just hearing his voice is not enough. So let's bring up the big man, the president, the guy in charge of all this, the CEO of the Golden West chapter, who's looking very svelte today, Mr. Fred Fisher.
Thanks, Alex. I hope you can hear my voice today because I'm out here on a walk in Hollywood. We just went to the Van Gogh exhibit, which was amazing if you ever have the chance to go, and found a great protected spot under this tree. Although I've just realized just now that I have a fire department right over there and a police station right over there. So while I will certainly be safe, the sirens, I hope, don't get too much in the way. Alex, you've been an amazing, loyal and generous supporter of the chapter, and we're so grateful for everything that you do today and always. What an amazing celebration we're having today of the impact and the strength and the commitment of our community. Wherever in the world you are, it's terrific to see so many new and familiar faces. Now, I have in my hands a top 10 list of sorts of what the impact is for the Walk to Defeat ALS and why people walk and what happens when you walk and donate. It's a top 10 list that happens to have 14 things on the list. And the great thing is that whichever one might seem more relevant, more important to you, what's important to keep in mind is that everything we do advances and accelerates the search for effective treatments and cures. So when you walk to defeat ALS, you make it possible for us to connect with every new family who hear those devastating words, "You have ALS." When you walk to defeat ALS, you make it possible for us to provide services free of charge to the growing number of families that get that diagnosis. You make it possible for us to lead the country in care, support, advocacy, and research. And you make it possible for us to continue to offer more programs and more services than ever before. When you walk to defeat ALS, you're making it possible for us to develop and partner with 27 multidisciplinary ALS specialty clinics and research centers. And you make it possible for us to bring our clinic leaders together to advance new best practices in patient care. When you walk to defeat ALS, you're making it possible for us to provide professional care management, loans of vital equipment, more than 30 online support groups each month, new educational webinars and community gatherings, all free of charge. When you walk to defeat ALS, you make us the go-to resource for the research community of clinicians, scientists, and biotech companies working to find effective treatments and cures. When you walk to defeat ALS, you're making possible our ALS advocacy efforts that pursue more research funding, faster pathways to experimental treatments, and continuing to access telehealth, which has been so important during the pandemic. You make it possible for us to execute the world's largest global philanthropic research effort, currently supporting more than 160 of the world's most promising research projects in 13 countries, including projects like the Healy platform trial that Jose Fajardo just mentioned in his amazing video, in which we invested $3 million to advance that important research initiative. When you walk to defeat ALS, you make it possible for the science supported by your fundraising activities to be tested in ALS clinics that we fund. That science only happens when we help people enroll in trials, the same people who are being cared for through our wraparound model of care. And finally, well, almost finally, you make it possible for us to advocate for expanded access to early treatments. When you walk to defeat ALS, you're making it possible to fulfill our shared vision of creating a world without ALS, because only together can we defeat ALS. My deepest thanks to all of you for walking and donating to defeat ALS. We are really grateful for all that you make possible for the ALS community. And now, please welcome back the Golden West Chapter's Chief Operating Officer, Sherry Strahl.
Thank you so much, Fred, and thank you, Alex, for supporting our program. I want to first take a moment to thank our care managers. They are our heroes out in the community, in person or online. They are on the front lines, leading support groups, arranging for equipment loans, connecting clients with resources, advocating for families in our clinics, and doing home visits. They are at times first responders during crises, and they do so much more. And the funds that you are raising through the walk, as Fred mentioned, are crucial to supporting the essential work of these employees. They are specialists in areas like social work, respiratory therapy, occupational therapy, speech pathology, and so much more. So please join me in sending admiration and appreciation to this incredibly special group of individuals. Thank you. On a different note, you may have heard about our new Never Give Up Club. As a part of our Never Give Up Club, any team that has cumulatively raised $25,000 or more to date through any combination of our Walk to Defeat ALS or Team Challenge ALS events is named on our wall of honor and will receive special acknowledgement throughout 2021. And here's a special bonus. Those who have been inducted into the Never Give Up Club this year and who have registered for one or more of our Walk or Team Challenge events this year will also receive an exclusive thank you gift from us before the end of the season. So look forward to that. We plan to continue the Never Give Up Club for many years to come. So if you haven't been inducted yet, we look forward to celebrating you as one of our newest members next year or in years to come. We thank all of our teams and participants for all that you've done on behalf of our ALS community. Let's take a moment to pay tribute to our inaugural Walk to Defeat ALS inductees into the Never Give Up Club. That will be followed by more visits with families and teams around the chapter. Let's roll that Never Give Up Club.
I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to enter like I wait for you. I'll wait for you. 'Cause I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left.
Elliker, and I'm walking to defeat ALS today in loving memory of my best friend, Nancy Ryder. Nancy was diagnosed with ALS in 2014, and she lived vibrantly and courageously until June of 2020. We started Team Nancy to raise urgently needed funds and awareness in search of treatments and cures for ALS, and to date, the team has raised over $850,000 in support of the ALS community and the Golden West Chapter's mission priorities in ALS research, care services, and public policy initiatives. I'm going to walk today in celebration of Nancy and her courage and how she's inspired so many, and for her commitment to raising funds so that others would have the resources that they need as they bravely navigate this terrible disease. I look forward to seeing how some of you spend the day, and on behalf of Team Nancy and the entire ALS community, I thank you for joining us at the Zoom start line as we build community, support care, and seek cures together. Never give up.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Walk to Defeat ALS. I'm Hunter Doohan, and I'm so honored to be taking part in today's event in honor of my dad, Peter Doohan, who passed away from ALS in 2017. If you or someone you know has been affected by ALS, then you know how devastating this disease can be, and that's why we need organizations like the Golden West Chapter of the ALS Association, which raises funds and awareness to fight ALS with compassionate care services, cutting-edge research, and impactful public policy. I know a lot of you here today are here in honor of some wonderful people that we've lost to ALS, and others are here to pay tribute to people currently living with ALS. But our hope is that if we continue to walk together to raise funds for research and a cure, that someday soon we'll get together to walk in celebration of the defeat of ALS. Until then, thank you so much for never giving up, and I hope you have a wonderful day with your family and your team.
Hi, I'm Kate Linder, Esther Valentine of the Young and the Restless. ALS can strike anyone, and presently there is no known cure. My brother-in-law Scott died because of ALS, and I vowed to never, never give up the fight against the disease. We will celebrate a virtual walk day together as a community. Then you and your team can walk, roll, run, or hike your way throughout the day wherever you are. Let's raise urgently needed funds to benefit the chapter's work in care and research, and bring help and hope to those impacted by this hideous disease. Walk in memory, walk in honor, walk in support. Let's walk to defeat ALS together.
My everyday experiences living with ALS can vary from day to day. I have my ups and downs. I always try to keep a positive attitude and try to keep my humor to keep everyone around me uplifted. I grew up and currently live in a small farm town named Arvin.
We met probably about 13 years ago for the second time. We went to school together since basically like first or second grade.
We reconnected on social media and got married over 12 years ago. We share so many fond memories before my ALS. One of the first clues that something was wrong with myself was I started having twitching in my shoulders that never stopped.
Since we thought he had carpal tunnel, he went ahead and saw our general doctor that referred him over to a neurologist because it was just a regular routine type of appointment. He actually took the information from the neurologist by himself and then told me about it that same evening, which was really shocking. He just basically said that the neurologist told him that he was going to have to put his affairs in order, that this was probably Lou Gehrig's disease. I saw a initial for our ALS, and it stayed in my head. ALS, always losing something. And it's actually really true, because all I saw was a breaking down of a wonderful person and a life that we had just started. Now we've adjusted and making a life for ourselves with a ventilator.
But through it all, your mind remains clear. Your body slowly becomes your own prison. Luckily, I have a communication device that keeps me entertained, and to speak my needs. I surf the internet, watch videos, and do little projects that keep me busy. I'm currently filming a documentary with PBS about this disease. Living with ALS, you definitely need support. Whether it be from your friends, family, or organizations like the Golden West chapter of the ALS Association.
Bringing awareness to ALS for Charlie and I is very important because prior to having the disease, we didn't have any understanding or know anything about ALS. If this was the first time you've ever heard about ALS, I just want you to know that it can happen to your family member. It can happen to your friend. It can happen to your husband. It's not fair. It needs to be resolved. It needs to be made not to happen to anyone else.
It's extremely important that the public gets involved in the fight against ALS. Education, research, money, and time will determine when there is a cure for ALS. Events like Walking to Defeat ALS raises awareness, money for research, and brings the community together to support their family member, their friend, or their neighbor who has ALS. Individually, we are only a drop of water, but together, we are an ocean. Hope recognizes no barriers. It jumps all hurdles, leaps all fences, and tears down impenetrable walls to arrive at its final destination, which is to find a cure.
He said when he married me that he would make life interesting. He has. Now he's taking me to national television and being a part of something very, very important, something that's bigger than us, bigger than me.
Like so many of the people living with ALS who we have met, they live through incredible challenges with grace and good humor. Charlie is a Toby whiz who puts all of his skills as a former mechanic to use, customizing and optimizing his technology.
Angie is a phenomenal caregiver who makes taking care of Charlie 24/7 look easy, even though we know it is really, really hard. Angie and Charlie, you are amazing. We cannot thank you enough for choosing to share your story with all the ups and all the downs with us and the public.
Charlie gets me in a lot of trouble, and I love that about him.
If you want to test out a drug for ALS, you recruit a bunch of patients who have ALS, you give them the drug, and then you wait and you see what happens. And knowing whether a particular therapy is working is very challenging. So our ALS research project is focused on trying to get a biomarker for ALS. My name is Noah Zaitlin.
My name is Benjamin Zaitlin.
Zachary Zaitlin.
Nan.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about my father.
He was a super active, really funny guy.
I distinctly remember one Halloween, he gave us, several $100s worth of fireworks and rolls of toilet paper and said, go out and have fun.
So they would have these side adventures, which often came to light as I discovered hidden caches of fireworks and sparklers.
When I got older and some of my friends went into law, they said, your dad, he's a big deal. Like, he was a really important patent lawyer. I had no idea. It was just my dad.
Some of the first clues that my dad had ALS, I recall there being a limping foot.
We went to one of the university neurology clinics to get a further evaluation. February of 2016 made a definitive diagnosis of ALS.
I had heard of ALS before, but experiencing it firsthand is very different than reading about it.
We all flew down to LA. I was living in San Francisco at the time. We spent the weekend together, talked about what it meant.
We have an extraordinary network of both immediate family, my sons, their wives, our siblings. We knew that they would be a support system. We both together looked at clinical trials at Cedars. He absolutely felt participating in clinical trials was the only way that answers were going to be achieved.
When you hear about a loved one getting sick, a very natural reaction is to think, what am I going to do about this? How can I help them?
Part of you feels helpless, and Noah is in this unique position of not being helpless, of having a PhD in bioinformatics and being able to do research and look at a problem that has affected him personally. And
I was sort of in an interesting position in that there were people just down the hall from me, just across campus from me, and we're working on the ALS. So we brought that into the lab.
He's not one to discuss and mull. He takes action right away.
The ALS Association provides great support for scientists, and they give out money in a way that encourages collaboration, that encourages innovation, and it's been really wonderful to join up with that community and to be welcomed.
We got involved with the Golden West chapter Walk to Defeat ALS because we were looking for a community. I continue to walk with friends, with family, for the same reasons. We found a home.
a great way for me to honor my dad is to continue doing that.
ALS is indiscriminate, and it's important that we help each other out.
They were great years, the years that my dad had ALS. I spent a lot of time with my dad. Part of the reason they were great is because we weren't alone. You know, what you guys do for the community is so important. How far away are we from a cure for ALS? I'm going to give my dad's answer to this question. The cure for ALS is in a hallway with 100 doors. The cure is behind one of those doors.
It's not always about you as an individual doing that if you help close a door, this was not the answer, now someone doesn't have to do that again. And now Noah gets to do that as the researcher. Is pretty cool.
We're walking through the hallway and we're opening the doors. And finding a cure is not a question of if, it's a question of when. The more research we do and the more funding there is to conduct that research, the sooner we're going to have a cure.
How to follow that? I'm not crying, you're crying. I just want to say it's been such an inspirational day. The work that we do here at the Golden West chapter is quite powerful for us. And it's an honor to work with these families. So I just want to say thank you. And thank you to all four of these incredible and inspirational families for sharing their stories today. My name is Kim Lembo, and I am the Director of Community Outreach up here in Northern California. As a reminder, we are recording the program, so if you want to see any of these segments again, you'll be able to watch them on our YouTube channel or our Facebook pages for both the Golden West chapter and the Golden West chapter walk and more. All of it will be at the @ALSA Golden West. It's right there in the chat. Awesome. So this year, we discovered many creative ways to engage and stay connected to each other. From our walk kickoff party, featuring the executive splash and Asher plunging into the ocean, our fundraising 101 event, our monthly captain's calls and lunchtime drop-ins and hangouts, and of course, our t-shirt, you can see it, our t-shirt design contest, which was so fun, that brought us to our Walk to Defeat ALS t-shirt. We hope you had a chance to participate in one or all of these events. One of the new ways that we engaged as a community, myself included, actually, it got me out walking, was the 1,800-mile challenge using the website Challenge Hand. This was primarily a way for us to do something together throughout the season as a community, something meaningful and active and fun. And since we aren't gathering in person this year, it's been really fun to be chatting with different participants about their own engagement in this activity. So the collective goal was for us to log 1,800 miles in honor of the 1,800 plus families that we are serving who are facing ALS here at the Golden West chapter. So a huge thank you to all who joined us in this challenge, walking and rolling and hiking and skipping and wheeling and dancing and hula hooping or whatever other creative way that you dreamt up to be a part of this challenge. And I'm super stoked to say that as of this morning, we've hit 1,400 miles. We just have 400 miles to go to hit our 1,800 mile goal. So don't forget to log whatever you're doing today and let your walk coordinator or director know how many miles you did log. And we have another week plus to go. We're running this until the 31st of October. And I truly think that we can get these 400 miles in. So I think that does it for now. Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Kim. So I'm Tammy Galt, Director of Community Outreach for Central California. Oh my gosh, what a great program. I mean, it was just really great. I mean, I know it's hard not being in person, but this was really awesome. So, okay, Golden West, it's time to warm up. And we know what that means. It's almost time to get out there and walk. So I know that when we're in person in Fresno, we have a great group of volunteers from Phi Delta Theta fraternity to lead ups and warm ups. And if you've ever seen one of their videos, it's very energizing and we are ready to go and warmed up once they leave the stage. So, and I know that in Los Angeles, you've gotten to warm up every year with Windsor Chaza Pilates. So today, with all of us together, we have a special treat for you. For many years, the chapter has been privileged to benefit from various fun Zumba activities and fundraisers that have brought communities together. So in Hawaii, Debbie Ozama Park has hosted many walk day warm-ups and fundraisers for the chapter. And in Northern California, team captain Denise Lum has done warm-ups, and she also donated 100 water bottles to those team captain kits in NorCal. Thank you, Denise. So we are thrilled actually to have Denise with us from Northern California to lead us in our Zumba walk warm-up. So we understand that not everybody can move as freely as Denise, including myself, but her music selections are great. So we encourage everyone here to watch and warm up your way, however you can, wherever you are. Just have fun with it. So before we leave this virtual stage, take it away, Denise.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. And so just like this year has been challenging, the last couple of years have been a little bit challenging, right? Well, this morning I ran into some challenges too, and I'm not in my home studio, AKA my kitchen. I'm actually at a county fair in a parking lot because I'm supposed to be working right now, but I ditched to be here. So I just want to share with you, the main thing really is I picked a song that is actually a stretch. More than just a high impact warm up, the noise is getting louder. It's Murphy's Law, right? But I picked a stretch, and it's not about the stretch. It's not about me even. This is really about that I dedicate this to you, all of you out there, whether you are living with ALS, which my uncle did for 14 years, and he's been gone more than a decade now, but I'm gonna continue this fight just so I never have another loss from. Unfortunately, I have had a few other losses since then, but we do this together. So this is dedicated to all of you that are living with ALS. But also, I picked the song very specifically for those of you as well that support somebody with ALS, because you are so strong and you are so incredible that if you just, I know some of you out there aren't going to get up and you're just going to watch, but please listen to the words and know that this is meant for you. All right. So we get us going here. The computer's been in the sun and I kept thinking, hang on, it'll be okay. 1 second. And again, I hope that you'll dance with me, but more than that, or I hope you'll stretch with me, but more than that, listen to the words. This is dedicated to all of you. A second, the computer's deciding to get going here.
It's okay, Denise. I see people actually doing some stretching right now as you're getting ready. They are anxiously anticipating. They're ready.
All right. Should we come back to Denise after team roll call? Why don't we do that? Jessica Partida, take it away.
Hey everybody, it's live TV. Things happen. So hi everyone, I'm Jessica Partida. I'm the Director of Community Outreach in Southern California. I hope you've been enjoying today's Zoom start line. We're gonna do the team roll call.
All of the lies I believed got the better of me. Never thought there could be so much doubt. All the blame and the hate, the self-hurt and the heartbreak, a fist that kept holding me down. And I was my own worst enemy. And I found my way through it all. And finally I see I'm enough, just as I am. Feel right at home anywhere that I stand. Hold out my heart in the palm of my hand, and I live my life like nobody else can. I am enough. I am enough for the laughter, the life that I'm after, enough for my wildest dreams. Yeah, 'cause every flaw from my toe to my jaw is exactly where it's supposed to be. And I know I got something to say. And I'm gonna remind myself every day I'm enough, just as I am. Feel right at home anywhere that I stand. Hold out my heart in the palm of my hand, and I live my life like nobody else can. Shine down on you, and I am enough, just as I am. Feel right at home anywhere that I stand. Hold out my heart in the palm of my hand, and I live my life like nobody else can. I am believed got the better of me. Never thought there could be so much doubt.
Thank you, Denise. I'm glad, as I was saying, live programming. My name is Jessica Fertitta. I'm the Director of Community Outreach in Southern California. I hope you've been enjoying today's Zoom start line. In a moment, we're going to do a team roll call. If we were in a park, Asher or someone would be up on a ladder at the inflatable arch calling out team names. So this is the virtual equivalent of that. Be sure to look for your team name listed by the walk community. If you're a team or an individual who registered by yesterday morning, you'll be on the screen in a moment. And after that, if you're not heading out on a walk or hike or some other activity immediately, we invite you to visit the regional breakout rooms we set up here on Zoom. Staff and board members will be hanging out in these rooms for about 20 minutes for meet and greets and Q&A. For those of you who don't know how to navigate breakout rooms, it's easy and I'll show you how. If you look on the screen, you're gonna see a whole bunch of little tutorials. So what you're gonna do is go to the bottom of your screen, search for that little breakout room icon, and you're gonna self-select the community that you wanna head into. You can jump in and out of any one of these rooms. If you leave the meeting, you'll be brought back to the main room and you'll be able to go into another community's meeting. So do it however many times you'd like. Come say hello. I'll be in the SoCal one. So I hope to see you guys there. One final thing, we want to be sure to thank our event volunteers and committee members who have been meeting with us all year long in preparation for today. They've been making calls for us, soliciting in-kind donations, providing valuable feedback and guidance on our event day plans, and taking the lead on their own teams. Here they are. No, Northern California, Southern California, continued. And I'd also like to thank Art and Barb Parr, designers of our 2021 Golden West Chapter Walk to Defeat ALS Event Day t-shirt, if you could see, and members of the Happy Huntleys. Sadly, Barb passed away recently. We're sending our love to Art and his daughter, Rebecca Huntley, who are honoring and remembering her today, and after Barb's service, planning their walk day activity in memory of John Huntley. One group of really hardworking and dedicated volunteers that serves the chapter in many ways throughout the entire year is our board of directors. A lot of our board members are team captains for their walk and are in attendance today. And we can't thank them enough for their leadership. And another special shout out to our many advisory trustees who likewise serve the chapter in a variety of important ways. Please keep up the good work so we can meet our important goal this year. The website and your participant pages will remain open until mid-January. Plenty of time for us to meet or exceed our $1.2 million goal that enables us to keep funding care, research, and advocacy. A special thank you to today's volunteers in our walk program, Adam Chester, Kahu Wendell Davis, Bernard Carvalho, Denise Lum, and Alex Michelson. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Jessica. All right, so just to wrap up, let me make sure I got this right. We're going to do the team roll call in a moment. Then we all go to the Zoom breakout rooms. And then hopefully we're going to keep fundraising and hit that goal of $1.2 million. Is that right? That's about right, I think. I hope so.
You got it right,
all right,
Alex.
Thank you very much, and thank you for making sure that my script had all that in there, so I was able to follow. So we want to encourage everybody, though, because it's great. Obviously, this is a community that really cares about this, but it's also important to reach out to other communities. Other people know about this, educate people, so we can increase the fundraising, increase the awareness. And a great way to do that is on social media, because you know, if it didn't happen on Instagram, it didn't happen. So if you post, tag the ALS Golden West chapter. It's at ALSA Golden West, ALSA Golden West use the hashtags. You're at it. Feel free to tag at Alex Michelson. That's Alex with an E if you want to, because I would love a follow. So go ahead and do that. I want to give a shout out to the folks that were part of the live program today that really made this possible, and a really excellent job done by Alex Delicano of Fortune Horse. He produced and edited those videos which were so moving. Congratulations, Alex. Thank you for your work today. A special shout out to the marketing communications staff as well, Megan Fisher and Gabby Ramirez of Marcom Specialist, Nathan Alvarez of Marcom Volunteer, and a big special shout out to my friend who I've been working with for 10 years, one of the heart and soul of this organization, and just a powerhouse in terms of her work ethic and compassion for people. Janica Lancy, thank you for everything that you do. We love you. Thank you for everything that you are. So here we are. It's time for the Walk to Defeat ALS start line and the virtual roll call. But I just want to give a big shout out before I go to everybody in this community for the continued inspiration. This event represents the best of humanity, and it's a real honor to be a part of it and to be with you all. So thank you very much. Sending you my love, and together we will defeat ALS.
Don't forget to join us in the breakout rooms. We're all heading out, and you can party hop. You can start off in Northern California and end up in Hawaii.